Cloud. Okay, we are recording. So we're going to go over Welcome to the Academic Writer New Features webinar. Today we're going to talk about the Academic Writer Access updates. We have some really crucial updates coming up, and I want to make sure we have a chance to go over them and let you ask any questions if you need to. I did also want to go over a small update to the analytics that we offer and the upcoming refresh of the admin center. And then Emily's going to take over and go through our new quick guides on AI references and using AI in academic writing, as well as a spotlight on the writing center, focusing on quotations. So we have on our teaching resources site, our institutional access updates page. I'm going to just drop this in the chat so you'll have it for reference to review. I'm really hoping everybody has a chance to take a look at it. So on this page, I'm sure I've emailed everybody about the proxy updates. That is happening. You can update it at any time. But if you do update your proxy stanza, just make sure you delete the old one. Otherwise, the new one won't work and you might have your access might be interrupted. So when you're updating your proxy stanza, just make sure to delete the old one. And if you have a hosted proxy from OCLC, you don't have to do anything. You're good. And then for Open Athens, you may have to make an update. It depends on how you're using Open Athens. So if you've created a redirector URL for academic writer, or you direct students to the login page, they will be fine. You don't have to do anything. What you might run into is if somebody has bookmarked a page outside of the redirector URL or the login page. If that has happened and they come to you regarding their access, you can just point them to the correct link. We also put here, so if you haven't created an Open Athens redirector URL, we did include a link to go ahead and do that. It's probably the best way to kind of create that link for academic writer. And then if you wanted to read a little bit more about the Open Athens attributes, we added a link there as well. Granted, I don't use Open Athens, so I don't necessarily understand everything about it. But we can hopefully answer some questions if you run into a snag. So feel free to contact us if you have questions about that, and we will help you work through that to make sure your access isn't interrupted. We also updated our LTI launch URL and links for all of the content. So this is a big one. I've already talked to two schools about it to try to get them updated. The new launch URL is going to contain an sso.apa.org instead of just the .apa.org. And really the only thing your admin needs to do is to update the launch URL and the domain. If I click here, this takes you to the LTI integration page. You can click your LMS. If we're looking at Canvas, here is the main update. So your LMS admin or whoever has admin rights can use this page. They would really only need to use the launch URL and the domain. And this is split into two lines. I was working with someone yesterday and I completely missed that part. I don't know how, but it happened. So I just wanted to point that out because it's easy to miss. The other thing here is when Canvas had that issue, we went ahead and updated all of our Canvas customers their shared secret. So that's a big part of using Academic Writer in your LMS. If they haven't updated that shared secret, you might be having problems getting access to Academic Writer. So if you do notice any um, pages that aren't loading, that might be an issue, and you can just contact us and we can send you all of the updated information. So there's a couple of things going on here. One, we just want to confirm that you have the correct shared secret, and your LMS admin would need to update the launch URL and the domain. And once those are updated, the next step would be if you are using specific lessons, we do have a new link for the content selection page. And within the content selection page, we have new links for all of the content. So if you are using a good amount of the lessons, which the person I talked to yesterday, he had built a faculty course so the faculty could just import all of the lessons, which meant he had to go back through and update like 70 plus lessons that he had included in his course. So I know it's a lot, but this will help everything be a little bit more secure. And once you get it updated, that's it, you're done. We do plan on finalizing all of these updates by November 1. So if you haven't had a chance to update by November 1, um, we may run the risk of losing access. So that's an important date to kind of keep in mind. Does anybody have any questions? I hope that means I went through everything very thoroughly. Let me check the chat just to make sure. Oh, good. That's Dawn helping me out. Um, if you don't have any questions, I will move on to the admin center. Just to kind of go over a few things that are changing there. Really quickly, Dawn and Emily, do you think there's anything that I forgot to talk about here with the updated access settings?
I did just want to mention, and I think that at this point with the proxy stanza, since it has been changed for a little while, if you are not having issues with proxy, and you do use hosted proxy, you're probably fine. But if you do use hosted proxy, I don't think that OCLC necessarily automatically removes any old stanzas. So I think there were a few customers at the beginning where they did have to specifically request that the old stanzas be removed or deactivated or whatever once the new one was in place.
Thank you. That's a good point. Great. Um, I will move on to the admin center, but definitely if anything pops into your head and you want to ask a question, please feel free. So in Academic Writer, you can see I'm logged in up here. At the bottom of every page in our little footer section, we have the admin center. Um, Unfortunately, you can only have one admin per school. So whoever is designated as the admin, they can log in and update their settings. So some of the things that we are updating, um, under customize, In case you didn't know, you can set your own contact your administrator email that students can use. So if you look here, there's a contact your administrator. You can set the email for that. So if you want students to ask you a question before reaching out to us, you can set that up. So you would put that in the first tab under customize right here. And then under add your logo, we currently have an image URL. So if you have a URL, you can point to your school's logo. It would appear right about here. So that's an identification point for students to know that they are accessing Academic Writer. So it's just a visual confirmation that they are authenticated. What we are doing is taking out this target URL right here. What that does is turn your logo into a link to, say, if you had designated it your library homepage or something like that. This is going away. So we're going to take out the target URL and just leave the image URL for the co-branding. Which I think according to our stats, this isn't used that much, but just so you know, that will be going away um, fairly soon. The admin center update should be released fairly quickly within the next couple of weeks. Under analytics, we did update the learning objects stats. So previously we could of accessed by users if they were logged in. Our developers have updated it so that we will be able to give you analytics for all of the learning objects, even if someone is not logged in. So it'll give you a better reflection of the activity that's happening in the platform. So when you pull those analytics, if you need to, it'll give you a better number under learning objects. We are going to update this tab so that it will be more access oriented. So it'll mirror what we have on our teaching resources site, and it'll give you information on proxy, Open Athens, and the LMS integration. And the support tab will continue to include links to the site help, which is also linked down here and here. And that goes to our Learning Commons, our APA Publishing Learning Commons, for students to ask questions. They can look up answers to their questions. So if you type in references, it will start filtering to knowledge articles specifically on references. They can also submit a support ticket here. When you click on it, it gives them a chance to identify who they are, and then the subject and a brief description. Also, screenshots, if you ever have a student come to you with an issue and you need to submit a support ticket, screenshots are always helpful, or even a screencast, like if you have a recording of the problem, those really help us identify the issue very quickly. And then, yeah, so those will be the updates to the admin center. Does anyone have any questions? I'm doing great, obviously. This is so good. Um, don't hesitate if something pops into your mind and you're like, oh, I meant to ask about this. Please feel free to just drop a question in the chat. Um, I will be happy to answer it either on screen or, oh, there it is. I lost the toolbar so I could stop sharing. Um, I would be happy to answer the questions. I am having the worst luck. I just cannot seem to function today with technology. Technology and I are no longer friends. I am so sorry.
You're
I'm
doing
gonna
great. You're good.
Emily.
Are you passing it off to me then? Are
Yes,
we good?
it is
Okay.
all you, please.
All right. All right, so let me go ahead and I'm gonna share my screen. Give me just a moment. Screen, there we go. Okay, so hello everyone. My name's Emily. I'm going to be talking, we're kind of switching gears here a bit. So if we can just direct your attention, I'm going to talk a little bit about AI resources. Kind of like if you're having, questions from students, instructors, anyone basically about APA style and AI and how those things work together can be, of course, a daunting field there to encounter, but I do have some resources to share that I hope will be super helpful. So first off, I just wanted to point out really quick that the APA style blog has some super helpful blog posts basically about exactly this. So if you go to the APA style blog, I'm sure most of you, have this bookmarked, are familiar, but it's just apastyle.apa.org and it's slash blog or just search APA style blog. I'm just going to go up here to the search. This is actually going to search our whole APA style like page up here, but if I search for AI, and I just want to show you these few entries here. So we've got AI references. This is one of the style guidelines. So there's a whole guideline there for you to for help with AI references. And then there's basically like a three-part series. So citing generative AI and APA style. There's part one, part two, and part three. So different blog post entries there. I definitely encourage you to check those out if you have not seen them yet. And then also just a helpful blog about tips for teaching writing in the age of AI. So that could be helpful. And then an older one, how to cite Chat GPT. Of course, as like the technology around AI changes, we do try to update everything, as quickly as we can, but things change so fast. But this is kind of like your first go-to source for those AI APA style sort of resources. Okay, so then with that said, I'm going to hop over now to Academic Writer. Just wanted to let you know that those blog posts and guidelines were there because some of them are actually linked through Academic Writer, and I'll try to point that out when we see that. But first off, in Academic Writer here, so I'm already logged into my account, and this is just at the home page. But there are two quick guides that have been added. So quick guides in our Learning Center that are focused on AI. So I'm just going to go right over to the Learn tab for the Learning Center. So here you have options to go to My Lessons, which is the lessons you've already been working on, and then to the right of that where you can browse lessons and also the samples that are in the Learning Center. So if I click that, just going to go to Browse. Of course, I keep getting my tools in the way. There we go. Okay, so from here, this is the full Learning Center content here. So a couple of ways that you can get to these new quick guides that I'm talking about. So you can, first off, you can do a search. This will do a general broad search of the whole Learning Center here. You can search for AI. And you can see here we've got our quick guide. One of them is titled AI Reference. So it's basically how to create references for AI. And then we've got a sample reference for generative AI chat, a sample reference for generative AI tool, and then we've got a quick guide, the other quick guide, which is using AI in academic writing. So a little more broad there. So those are the four items I wanted to point out in the Learning Center. But if I reset this, I'm just going to show you how else you can also get to those quick guides. So if I am in the Learning Center here and go to the Quick Guides tab, so from here, you can go to I want to go to Fundamental Writing Skills, and I can scroll down, I believe this is, yep, all the way at the bottom. So I also click this green star here if you want to go ahead and do that and add it to your favorites, just so you can, quickly access it in case you need to refer back for some AI information. But here's our using AI in academic writing quick guide. Let me go ahead and open that up and just show you kind of what is in this. So let that load. So this one I had started going through. When I click the resume learning, that's going to open up the full lesson. But I just kind of want to show you the outline here. So different topics within this whole lesson. We've got things like shortcomings of AI, AI use policies, the two ways to cite AI that APA has identified. Um, when would no AI citation be required? And there's also a quiz in here to take. So the knowledge check, which is just kind of like a self-assessment, and then there's also a quiz at the end. So I wanted to open up the two ways to cite AI so I can show you this. So two possible ways to cite AI, and this kind of frames, just kind of gets your thinking around how APA style is addressing using AI sources. So we're citing an AI tool more generally. So it's just like if you used an AI tool or if you used a specific chat. So if you had a chat conversation with an AI tool, you can cite that chat as well. So those are the two identified ways to basically cite that. So if you go through the lesson here, there's of course more details on all of this. I definitely encourage you to go through that. It helps to just kind of wrap your brain around, using AI and how we create references for those in APA style. And then the AI reference quick guide. So I'm just going to go back to the quick guides tab in the Learning Center. And then under reference list, here at the very top, we have the quick guide for an AI reference. So learn how to format references for AI references, including AI tools and AI chats. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. It's also marked as new. I didn't point that out with the other one, but I imagine we'll keep that for a while. So hopefully that'll just help you identify that that's one of our new lessons here for AI. So let me open this one up and show you the outline, the content here. Okay, so we have our outline. So different sections here, we have citing AI, and then it kind of goes through. So this whole quick guide is just about, creating a reference, of course. So it actually walks you through just like each component of a reference. So we've got like our author section, date section, title. So it walks through and just gives some really good guidance about how to break down that reference and how to, create a reference for APA style when you're using those AI sources. So let me just open up the citing AI. So like I said in the previous quick guide about how we are creating references for either using an AI tool generally or using an AI chat conversation, there's just some more details here to kind of help get your brain around like what's the difference there? When would I use each one? So hopefully that can be really helpful for making those references. There's also things in here like when not to cite AI, because of course that can also get complicated. So um, when should I actually not do that? And then there is the author section. So how to create how to fill in the author component of the reference and on and on. Also includes a knowledge check and quiz with um, with this lesson as well. Okay, make sure I got everything there. Okay, I think I covered that. So then I'm going to show you in the sample references, um, the two that we have in here. So first one, we are going to filter, and of course you can do the search. I just wanted to show you kind of how it's organized and which sections these are in. So first I'm going to filter by software. So under software, I can also show you, let's see, let me scroll down. We've got which generative generative AI chat. So this is our reference sample here. I'm going to open that up. So this is the full reference sample. So you can see we've got our author, date, and so on. Another thing I wanted to point out here, if I go to the Learn More, this is going to link to the actual reference form here. So that shows you the full form that you'll use here in the reference center to create your reference and then add that reference to your account and add it to a paper. I'm not going to open it just yet. I'll show you that in just a second, but I want to go back and show you the other sample reference, which was in, of course, where was it? Losing my train of thought. Software. Here we go. It's still in software. So it's the generative AI chat is what we just looked at. And now I just wanted to point out the generative AI tool. So this one here, you can see the full sample and then also links out to the reference form. Okay. So I know it's kind of like a lot of jumping around, but I'm going to now show you where those reference forms that are linked there in the samples actually live in the reference center. I guess I could pause maybe just for a second if there's any questions about um, the content that I talked about that's in the Learning Center before I jump over to references. Anything from the chat? Okay. Sounds like no. We'll also have time at the end. So if you think of a question, just let us know. Okay, so in the reference center, if I go to add references, so this is the full list of all of the reference forms for all of the many types of resources that we have identified that have corresponding forms. If I scroll over to software, and remember software was how we also identified those reference samples in the Learning Center. So we've got the generative AI chat and the generative AI tool. So the two ways to create references for AI. So let me open up the generative AI chat here so you can just take a look at the full form because there is some information here that is specific to this type of reference. Of course, this is a specific form for this type of reference. Specifically over in the question mark. So if I open up this question mark here, it's telling me exactly, use this form for a reference that's to a specific chat with a generative AI tool rather than using it generally. And then it also links here to blog post that I showed you at the very beginning. If you remember back to the blog, there was like that part 1, part 2, part 3, blog post information. So there's those links there as well. So really helpful information here for creating references for AI. But you can go through each section. This authorship is going to give you an example here, the date as well. So all very specific to this reference type. Okay, and then I guess the same for the generative AI tool. So here's the form for that. So this is not a specific AI chat conversation, but using an AI tool more generally. And here, if I go to the reference type, it explains that as well. So using that general AI tool. And there's some more specific information about that as well. And then links to those blog posts as well. Okay. And also those examples with the question marks. So like with the author, the date, etc. All right. I think that was what I wanted to point out with the AI content. So hopefully that kind of helps. The blog, the Learning Center content, and also the reference forms here. So if students are asking, if instructors are asking, you can direct them here. There is help and support. And then I just wanted to pivot, I guess. It looks like we're at a good time. And talk about, we call this kind of like a spotlight section. It's necessarily not like brand new content, so like brand new features, but maybe something that you haven't thought about in a while or haven't used or haven't seen for a while. And that's specifically, we're just going to talk about direct quotations. So kind of a fun topic. It is largely in the Writing Center, but of course, in Academic Writer, there's quite a lot of overlap between the Reference Center and the Writing Center, and the Learning Center as well. So actually, I was going to start out in the Learning Center and start out with some lessons that can help you with exactly this, with direct quotations. So we're going to just go back to the quick guides where I was. So browsing the lessons and samples. And then let's see, I believe I did just do a search. Yeah. So searching quotations here. And there is a brief part mentioned distinguishing like paraphrasing and quotations in the basics of APA style tutorial. But I wanted to especially point out this quick guide. It's under the citing sources section. It is a full quick guide that is all about direct quotations and paraphrases. So I'm just going to open that up and just point out a few things just to kind of like get it fresh in your mind before we look at the references and paper. So just to kind of look at the outline here, we've got things like quoting versus paraphrasing, like what is that? What is a direct quotations, changes to quotations, paraphrasing, and then we've got, of course, our knowledge checks and quiz. So let me just open up the direct quotations section. So it gives us a nice definition, exactly reproduces words from another work, from your own previously published or submitted work, or from your own work. So just gives you a nice overview, information that comes right from the APA style manual. And then it also gives us a explanation, between short quotations. How do we format a short quotations, which would be considered fewer than 40 words. And then how to put that shorter quotation in either parenthetical or narrative format. So there's a whole section and examples for both of those. And then also a whole section about block quotations. So this would be 40 or more words. So starting that block quotation as a whole new paragraph, indenting, keeping it double spaced, not using those quotation marks around it. So that's just kind of just like to point out that this is here if anyone's ever asking about information about quotations. I just found this really helpful. And then there's also that parenthetical or narrative um, uh, explanation here as well. Okay, so that's in the Learning Center. So then I'm actually going to jump over. I know I'm kind of jumping around a lot today, but to the Reference Center. Um, and then we are going to basically add a new reference, and I'm going to show you there is a tool for adding quotations in these forms. So if I open up a form, I'll just pick journal article. So this is a form to create a reference for this source. And if I scroll down, there is a whole section for quotations. There's even on the little question mark, there's an explanation, keep track of quotations from the source work. You can save them here, and then they'll be available when you go to cite that quotation, when you cite that source in your paper in the Writing Center. So one thing I also wanted to point out that may have been new or new to you since maybe you've looked at this, there is a section for commentary. So you would enter your full quotation here on this card, um, enter it there, and then the commentary, is like how you plan to use it, kind of like an annotation. So just where you might want to enter it, how you were thinking you would want to like kind of what's your justification, I guess, basically for including that quotation. But that's just for your personal use. It doesn't show up in the paper. And then you can add a page number, or if there is no page number, you can add a paragraph number here. And then once you have included everything, you would just click Add Quotation. And you can add multiple for each reference. Once you add one, it will show up over on the right side over here. So they'll all list here, which I'll show you in just a second. So always want to make sure that you do hit add here and save and add to my references. So making sure not to like close out and and lose any work there. So make sure to just hit the add quotation, add reference, but it will save it directly in that reference form so that it's there in the system, it's there saved in your account, and you can, when you do go to add that um, citation or reference to your paper, it's all kind of ready for you. Okay, so I'm going to go over to an actual paper, and I'm going to show you a reference that has some more content in it already. Okay. Okay, let me make sure I get the right one here. So I'm just going to open up a paper. This is a demo paper that I've used. It's very messy, so just to forewarn you of that. So we are going to go down to my references section here below the paper body, and I wanted to first point out, so these are my references here. You can see oh, I guess I forgot I went through and deleted a bunch of in-text citations, but if it has been cited in text, you will see here it'll be a green cited to let you know what has already been cited in the text. But here I also wanted to point out there's a section for quotations. So this lets you know, so if it has that quotations title basically listed there, that means that there's quotations saved with this reference form. And if you don't see that, then there's not any that exist. But if I click on that, then I can see the quotations here listed, but I cannot type in this box here. I have to actually open the reference form. So I would go to the right of this where you see this pencil icon. I would click this open. It's just like you would open, to make edits to any of your references. But you want to click that and it's going to take you. So it's letting me know it's actually taking me away from the paper. And if I do have, work that hasn't auto saved yet, make sure to save that. But yes, I want to proceed. It's going to open up this form for that specific reference. So I can see all of the details here. I can make edits. But if I look at the quotations section, just like I mentioned, this is where it's going to save, keep all of those quotations that I have already added. Um, and if I add a new one, it's going to show up in this list over here. I can also delete them or edit them straight from over here. So click the pencil icon to open that up. This is just, filler text. And make edits to that, make comments, or I can fully just delete it. So I'm going to delete that one and it just goes away. I can view this one that I added. You can see the comment that I added below here. And then the page and paragraph, of course. Okay, so we would have updated. Yeah, I didn't add a new one, so we'll update that reference. And I want to go back to my paper now. Almost through this demo part. I hope this is helpful. I know it's like pretty detailed stuff, but once you get into it, it's like, oh, there's so many things that this will do. And if, this quotations tool can help someone, it can really save some time. So then I just wanted to show you. So we have those quotations saved in my reference here, this doll reference. When I go to actually add it into my paper, so just like I would normally, click that cursor where you want the in-text citations who are citing that reference now. I'm going to choose this reference that I know has that quote I want to show you. Hit cite. From here, just like usual, so we can decide if we want the citation to be parenthetical or narrative. And then you have the choices as a quotation. There's a little, explanation about that. There's always such detailed explanations throughout. But then I'm going to say yes. From here, you have the option to cite a quotation that's already saved in the reference, like I just showed you, or you also have the option to add a new one. So you can include the page or paragraph number, and then you can add that quotation directly in if you haven't done that already, but you're working on your paper. But if I have done it, they're right here. So here's those quotations I had saved. This is the blocked quote that I know I wanted to show you. So let's go ahead and hit submit and see how it adds our blocked quotation. This is just telling me I still have to orient the quotation into my paper. So whether that's, a transition phrase, I still have to author that into my paper. But here you can see, here's the blocked quote. Here with everything indented, since it's 40 or more words, and then it includes the citation at the end with the fictional page number that I included in the reference there. So I think I know that that's a lot, maybe. Hopefully, maybe it's something new that you learned about today, or maybe you have seen this several times before. Um, but yeah, I guess there was one other thing I wanted to point out that's considered, I guess, even more like a new feature. You might have noticed this feedback button over here on the far right side, if you see that there. It's a blue, it says feedback. This is just for us to kind of hear from you. So if you kind of want to give us some information, this is just, it's very, pretty short, pretty brief, but just let us know what your role is. And then there's just a box if you want to let us know things that are good, things that are maybe not so good. And then also you can rate, how likely are you to recommend Academic Writer to your friend. And this just helps us out as we constantly make updates and upgrades. So just wanted to point out that that is there. Okay, any questions about anything I showed or anything Jana showed? Um, I know it might be a good amount of information to process. And of course, there will be um, communication to come about any updates that need to be made that Jana talked about. But Jana, anything else you wanted to add or any questions you've noticed?
That was great, Emily.
Yeah,
I always forget about some of the things that academic writer can do.
honestly, me too. And all of the overlap between the centers, it's like, yeah, there's so much there.
The only questions we had in the chat were surrounding Brenda's question, but that's that. I think
Oh,
Dawn
okay.
handled that perfectly. But yeah, I think it is always good to kind of have a spotlight on features that you might not realize were in there. So we try to add that into each session. And if you have any questions about the access options or access updates, reach out to us. You can always email academicwriter@apa.org and just ask. Like, we're here to help you to avoid any interruptions in access. And also, if you do want to use Academic Writer within your LMS, just reach out to us and we can help you get that set up. It's a great way to get Academic Writer in front of students, another authentication point for them if they're off campus. So it's definitely a good feature.
I think that is all we had. So thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time to, maybe learn something today or just listen. And we just appreciate you being here. And of course, let us know if you have questions.
Have a great day, everybody. Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording.
Okay.